Let's talk toys.
What's up, all you DC Multiverse loving dudes and dudettes? ToyShiz here, and I got a really rockin' fresh look for you guys today. We are totally going to be checking out the brand new and sadly the last of them.
Closing time for you to go out to the places you will be.
This is the Mattel DC Universe Red Robin DC Rebirth sort of deal from the new Killer Croc Collect and Connect wave. And these, if you're looking, are starting to hit Walmart stores now. There are 6 figures, of course, to collect. Tim Drake. A little bit of backstory of this guy is that it's like the rebirth thing, and everyone thinks he's dead, and then he comes back evil, and Mr. Oz is involved. And you know what? This is why I don't really like modern continuity, because I don't really understand it, and I don't know why he's got 2 R's on his chest. But you know what? This figure looks great. He's a very awesome homage to the old 90s kind of Robin that I'm used to and I loved seeing. So in that sense, I totally dig the costume, but it's an odd thing seeing a double R on a Robin, but it's an interesting Robin, and I did a little bit of backstory and kind of got some information on him, and yeah, he is, I don't know, just go look it up or I'll do a who in the holy heck video. But that's not to say this is a really cool looking figure. If you want to go ahead and check out his bio, or heck, like I said, do your own research on YouTube, read some comics. DC is really confusing to me right now, so hey, you know what? It's Robin, check it out. Anyways, he comes with some weapons, a piece for the Build-A-Figure Croc. He's his arm right here. Nice huge arm. This would be a pretty big figure. I'm really looking forward to that. But since he's already out of the package, let's take a better look at him up close. This is the brand new Mattel DC Rebirth Red Robin from the new Killer Croc Collect and Connect wave. First things first, this Red Robin comes with the traditional Robin pole stick, whatever you want to call it. This time around, it's really just it's a very white, not really silver, but more of a white / cream color stick. It's just solid plastic. There's no paint or anything on it. It does have the usual marks where you'd hold it, of course, but it's a little bit flexible. You can kind of move it around. It's not stiff. It's not really going to break, but yeah, there's not much to it. It's just the Robin pole stick. He also comes with 2 fisted hands, and he does have a little bit of paint on him. It's a very light touch of green, but it is there on top of the black plastic, which, you know what, any type of paint is a welcome one, but it's not the best, we'll just say. It's not the best. It could have been applied just a little bit better, if we're being quite honest. But I will say that the standout is definitely this Red Robin figure. And it's funny saying Red Robin over and over, and you keep thinking, hey, it's Robin. But with the whole Kingdom Come, you had Red Robin, and then there was a interesting, cool-looking Red Robin, and now you got basically old-school 90s Robin as Red Robin. And if you counted how many times I've said Robin just in this video alone in the last 30 seconds, well then, if we were doing a drinking game, you'd probably be dead by now. But yeah, this guy is actually sculpted really nicely, and I'm liking everything. He doesn't have a ton of paint on him. There's some things where I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? Like you see like a really cool head portrait up close. He does look great from the side, especially. Nice painted mask, but he does have a little bit of paint here and there, just a little bit of scuffage. Goes down into the yellow on the black on his cape, and for the most part, that's all pretty great, and especially inside, the yellow looks pretty nice. It gets a little chewed up here and there. The paint starts to go kind of swivelly with the line work and everything. The Red Robin could have been painted just a little bit better. But see, you have all this paint. You got the black underneath on the red, and then you got the green on the black, and there are just some paint maps. So just if you get a chance to kind of look at a couple of them, make sure you kind of get the better looking one. But then you go from painted and more detailed to just like a flat yellow belt, and that's a little bit jarring, I will say. While it's not a huge problem, it's because it meshes well with the yellow cape behind, so you kind of forget that it's there. But it's there once you really put a magnifying glass up to it. So it's a little odd, and it doesn't really, I mean, unless that's where the costume, it looks off, like why he only's got 4 pouches on the front, and then he's got the circular thing, but nothing on the back. So if that's the way the costume goes, that's what it is, but it just looks unfinished, I guess you would say. Green on the sides, green on the shin pads, on the boots, the bottom of the boots. And you know what? The green, actually, when you get lower here, is really well applied. It looks pretty good, and I like the design of the boots and everything on this guy. I think that for me, having the nostalgia of the 90s Robin, we'll just say, and how he looked, this guy exemplifies that. It looks like a beefed up new twist on that costume. So for that alone, I definitely like it. Who the character is, who's underneath the mask, I don't care. He looks like he displays well, and I totally dig it. But yeah, if you look up the story behind the whole thing of Tim Drake and Red Robin with this new Rebirth thing, I just... my eyes go cross-eyed reading it. But articulation-wise, his head is actually really nice. It's on a ball joint. It looks down and doesn't really look up. It's the neck of the collar of the cape and just the head, and yeah, that's what's keeping him from doing it. The cape is on it. It's like a pegged into his back, so it's not really going anywhere. You got rotation at the shoulders. They go all the way out, and the cape really doesn't hinder it. It works well with the articulation. He's got bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which go all the way up just like that. And he's got some swivel at the wrists, up, down, left, right. That works pretty well. He's got an ab crunch. He'll go down about that much. And he actually goes back. This is one of the Multiverse figures that actually it goes back on, so that's pretty cool. Waist swivel, kicks out to the side. He's got thigh, double jointed knees. They work really well. And he even has ankle pivot and up, down. That's some good articulation, and again, so sad to see the Multiverse go now. You know, Mattel, you're just hitting your stride. Could you imagine what they could have done next year, the year following, and everything else? This looks great, and I love the look of this Robin. And if you're wondering how he holds his Donatello staff, you simply just put it into his hands, and he holds it really well. You can get all kinds of positions out of him. You can do that classic Robin pose. I really dig the look of this figure. And here's Red Robin with two of the other figures from his Killer Croc Collect and Connect wave. You got Alfred and KG Beast, both figures we have looked at so far this week. And I think in terms of scale, he seems to be okay. He's just around the same size as Alfred and smaller than KG Beast. So because it's a little bit more older, I guess, Tim Drake, I think it works well. I'm tired of Robin being on, the whole kid body, and just they give us something new, so I'm very appreciative of that. And one thing I will say to just keep an eye out for if you do get him, he doesn't always stand the best. All these two figures will just say they're solid. They're not going anywhere. This guy, I've had him standing up. He continuously keeps falling over, taking everybody out. So I've kind of had to put him in some wonky positions here and there. And to be honest, kind of have him propped up next to Alfred for right now because he keeps wanting to take a spill. And I've had to re-edit this thing like 5 times so far. So just something to keep an eye out for. And here he is with the most recent DC Multiverse Rebirth Nightwing and the Toy Biz Mattel DC Multiverse Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman, and he scales well with both of these, I think. And I think overall, he's a good-looking figure. I like it. It's totally different. It's an interesting new Red Robin figure. He's got a couple paint mishaps here and there, but I think for the most part, it's a lot more good than anywhere close to being bad. I love the articulation. Just if you get a chance to kind of go through a couple of them, go for the one with the better paint apps, because if it's on the front of the figure, that's when you're like, dang it. But it's on the back. What are you gonna do? No one's really gonna see that. So, but hey, you know what? Shouldn't be there in the first place. So watch out for them paint there, Mattel. But I'm curious to know what you guys think about this new Red Robin figure. What do you think about the new Killer Croc Collect and Connect? And are you sad that Multiverse is sadly at an end under the Mattel banner? Let's talk everything Multiverse toys. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, just remember that the most complicated of storylines can actually give us some really cool nods to old 90s costumes. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.